Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Help promote and rank up my channel. Fake Goodwin here, and eventually we will. She-Hulk Episode 5. Spoiler review. Unfortunately. No! I'm really trying hard not to throw in the towel for this show because it's just not very entertaining. It's shocking how it's supposed to be a sitcom, and I haven't laughed once in 5 episodes. There are a total of 9 episodes. We're halfway through this. She-Hulk herself has seen very little growth or anything in this show. It's supposed to be a sitcom, but I haven't laughed once. As far as drama and tension go, it doesn't have that in comparison to any other show that revolves around being a lawyer and having scenes in a courtroom.
I can give you something better!
I'm listening.
It lacks tension, lacks drama. There's no strong romance angle. There's no action.
Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big bang.
I am baffled. I'm stumped. I can't for the life of me figure out what's supposed to be funny in this show as I watch it.
Captain America wasn't virgin.
She-Hulk, Episode 5, spoiler review. The biggest thing in this that will keep us coming back, the only thing that keeps me coming back, is the promise of Daredevil. This episode teases Daredevil. Now, I thought Matt Murdock was actually going to be in this episode representing She-Hulk, but that's not the case. It's just a lawyer that's at the firm that I think they've shown in previous episodes. I can't remember her name for nothing. She's not that bad in this episode. She actually comes off like a professional lawyer to a degree. I'd say that she was the most likable character in the whole episode because she does knock She-Hulk down a peg. But also at the same time, she tells her, I'm not going to represent you unless you stop dressing like a bum, pretty much is what she tells her. And that just starts this whole thing of She-Hulk needs a costume. There's a side quest in here. It was kind of already started even before this lawyer said that. But the thing that baffles me is that the entire episode goes by and She-Hulk's still wearing the same suit. But the lawyer said, I'm not going to represent you unless you start dressing differently. Like immediately. But she represents her. And the case is resolved. The court case is resolved by this episode. And by the end of the episode, she finally gets the suits, but we don't even get to see her wear the suit. But She-Hulk, the big development in here is that She-Hulk's going to have a costume, and she's going to have suits that actually fit her, that don't look big and goofy. This episode, though, was pretty boring and bland. It wasn't, like, god-awful cringe like some of the past stuff has been. But it was just boring and bland. And the character, Pug, once again, comes off like a completely different character in this episode. So, the first time you meet him, he gives her the poop map. And then you had that one episode where he came off professional and well put together in the courtroom where they were going against the elf. And then here we are again, and he's just like talking different and acting different. It feels very inconsistent. I can't grasp who this man is as a person. But in here, he's going on about Iron Man 3 shoes and his shoe collection, and that he knows a guy that can get his hands on anything in the fashion. So Nikki, She-Hulk's best friend, is like, ooh, can we get a She-Hulk costume? And it leads to this whole thing that's not really funny. They go to this tea shop where she tries to talk to this guy about it. This guy's playing coy like he doesn't know what they're talking about. He's really just selling counterfeit Avenger stuff. But she says something to him in Chinese, and he's like, I'm not Chinese. I don't speak Chinese. But he knows it well enough to know that it's Chinese. Anyways, the episode starts off really weird because Titania has billboards, advertisements, suddenly everywhere with the She-Hulk name, conveniently. Because the whole She-Hulk merchandise that she's suing Jennifer over, the copyright claim, if that sounds dumb, it's because it is. Let's not pretend it's... Or actually, let's just go ahead and pretend it's serious, because it's handled like a serious court case, and they use all the guys from the Tinder dating app to prove that She-Hulk has been carrying this name, and it's just very strange. And they bring back that guy that slept with She-Hulk that ran out on her because he felt like he was catfished. I don't really care about any of this stuff. They also bring back the other guy that was like obsessed with superhero powers and all that. But they have this like flamboyant costume designer that does superhero costumes, and apparently he's got Daredevil stuff in there ready for pickup. So that's like the biggest takeaway from this whole episode. It's just a bunch of random, flat, pointless short scenes going through the motions. The day-to-day life of She-Hulk, which a show like that could be interesting, but what the writers are doing with this character, no way, it's not interesting at all. I mean, you could make an awesome, amazing show about like Tony Stark barely suiting up as Iron Man and just living day-to-day life because he's a billionaire playboy and he's got that personality. You could do a show like that about Spider-Man, Peter Parker, where he barely suits up as Spider-Man and he's mostly doing Peter Parker stuff because he's always having to cram and meet deadlines and try to get places on time, and you have your street-level muggings and all. You could do a day-to-day life Marvel superhero show that barely but this show, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're not doing anything right, in my opinion. This is the most poorly written show that I can think of. I'm sure there are worse, but to me, and props to you if you're enjoying it. Wow, I'm impressed, and it's okay for you to enjoy it. If I don't, that's awesome that somebody can enjoy this. I wish it was just gone. But this kind of just glosses over the whole copyright thing because does anybody else have all their stuff copyrighted? She-Hulk didn't. Did anybody else think of to do that and have these situations cropped up before? It just kind of glosses all over the stuff. Like I said, I hope it wouldn't do. It does. It glosses over everything with depth, substance, because they know only how to do the most flimsiest, very paper-thin things in here because they don't really know how to write a superhero show or a lawyer show. They have no interest in the superhero stuff. They have an interest in the lawyer stuff, but they don't know how to handle it, so they can't do that either. So you're just getting what they know, which is the 30-something woman that's single and what life is like for her. If you live in the suburbs and have good money, I guess this is the lifestyle of those lonely 30-year-old single women. I don't know. I'm just not enjoying this, and I don't know how anybody else is. And if you want this episode to be about what it really is about, it's establishing the rivalry between Titania and She-Hulk coming to accept the name She-Hulk, embrace this side of her identity, and get a suit. That's what happens in this episode. And it teases Daredevil. That's all this episode does. It does not feel like it actually accomplished anything. It did accomplish some things, I guess. But this, I don't know how this show's gonna wrap up because it's gone nowhere so far. The biggest things that happened was Jennifer Walters becoming She-Hulk, and then getting a job of this head of superhero division, which her boss brings up again in here. We can't have you getting sued for She-Hulk. Okay, you're the face of our superhero law division. But where's the clients? There are no clients. What is Jennifer doing at her job? Just looking at Titania on her computer, and what is she actually... Like, you think they'd do something really interesting, fascinating, like sit down around a big table and she, like, chooses who's gonna do this or that, who's gonna cover, like, injuries related to superheroes, who's gonna cover, like, you know, other stuff, like, different little specific categories in relation to superheroes. But no, they don't do anything like that. Just gloss over everything and give us the most, like, boring, common stuff possible. That's what this show does. Really unfocused, not enjoyable, but not as bad as other episodes. It's just boring, bland, and middle of the road. Oh. Really tough to hang in here and keep watching this. Anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Stay awesome. Rock on.